Anyone hungry for some cereal bowls? Well, this week we're going to talk the differences between Nintendrew's cereal bowl and my cereal bowl for the Nintendo Switch. I'll explain it all in a minute. So for those of you who are into the Nintendo Switch and are aware of it, I guess Nintendo has made some specially branded boxes of cereal that have an NFC chip, which is similar to contactless payment cards in transit systems, credit cards, things like that. And I guess the way it works is you can bring the box near your Nintendo Switch and it will read it, and you can do certain things in game with it. If you want to read more about it, I'll have a link to Nintendrew's video about it. And the basis of this video is comparing the differences between his cereal bowl and my cereal bowl. And I'll explain why in a minute over on the workbench behind me, why I decided just to come up with my own design as well. So let's jump over there and talk about it. Okay, so if you guys are wondering why there's two different cereal bowls and three different bases sitting here, I'll explain why in just a minute. So this was the very first print that I did, which was the cereal bowl itself. And it's actually quite interesting because it has the pieces molded in there. Although I am personally not a fan of the spoon handle being a separate print. I understand for some people that might have been useful, but in my opinion it would have been nice if it was offered as an option to print separately. Also, trying to finish all the pieces in the bowl could be a little bit tricky in my opinion, so it would have been nice if it was offered as an option. I understand it's totally the designer's choice here, but personally, I'm also for giving people options, so whatever. Now, when it came to the base, though, that was a little bit of a different story. Both me and Ashley decided that this was, well, interesting to say the least. And I think I've got the parts lined up right, but literally, the parts have like a weird, funky taper to them. Then there's this floating riser piece that you have to glue in there. Oh, and then you get to glue the bowl on top, and it just, I don't know, it's a little bit tricky to get everything lined up properly and fit properly. So we both agreed that, you know what, we could probably do something a little more elegant here. So I very quickly whipped up in Fusion 360 this base right here. It's nothing fancy, ignore the piece of build tack, my sheet was sadly dying. And this one works better. Obviously, it is two pieces, and to locate them without supports, I decided to use an interesting double taper contact method, which, while in theory it works okay, and in practice it probably works, it's not the most efficient. So obviously, good idea, but that was out of the running. So this will still get used though, if you're wondering. Also, I designed in a little ring in the top for holding glue. When you're gluing them together, it makes it a little bit easier. At this point, I'm just starting to feel like, maybe I could just design up my own basic bowl. I'd already designed a base, and making a bowl was relatively simple. So I decided to copy the files and go full all the way, and came up with this. This is the larger, if you don't believe me, it's bigger, cereal bowl that's my own design. Now, if you're wondering why there are no cereal pieces inside, there's a good reason why. This was more designed up as a generic bowl that could be used either with or without the Amibos NFC chip. Say you wanted a model of a cereal bowl to give as a white elephant gift to a friend, you could do that as well. But the other thought was, say you did have the box with the cereal, or you had your favorite cereal that scale-wise made sense. The thoughts were you could actually pour the real cereal in here and bond everything in place using epoxy tinted white. So that's the reason why I left the bowl empty and dropped it down a little bit so you could do whatever you want in there. I might also include some little pieces that you can 3D print to simulate the cereal itself. We'll go from there. But one other change that I made that I feel is very important and something more designers should consider doing is I made an allowance for a dowel pin, which is in this part, and an opening for the dowel pin in this part. It just so happens that this hole is a little bit tighter, hence the pin's in it. But the main point is with the dowel pin, I can just slide the two parts together, glue them, and yes, there might be a minor joint there, but it's a lot easier than just trying to locate parts in mid-air, which in my opinion is asking for trouble. So I hope you guys as designers found this a little bit helpful. And as for me, I'm going to go ahead and glue all these guys together and work on prepping them so I can get them over to Ashley at Chip Builds. If you guys want to see a time lapse of me assembling these and also 3D printing them, I'm going to have a video dedicated just to that I will be releasing along with this, so card will hopefully pop out up there, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And as for designing, if you have any questions about putting pins in things, Angus over at Maker's Muse has an old video showing him modeling the pinholes into finished parts that I will link to. And also in general, if you're designing things, even if you personally don't use dowel pins, just model them in there. Stick with the conventional size like 1/8 inch and see what happens from there. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I gotta glue some stuff up.